Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. Ridge and Taylor's love story is doomed because of this one thing. According to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Ridge Forrester and Taylor Hayes' romance is doomed. The couple's unfortunate destiny is sealed by one item, but at least Taylor will suffer. Undoubtedly, some fans hoped that Taylor and Ridge's most recent reconciliation would last. Many fans believe that Ridge and Brooke Logan's relationship has gotten stale and quite dull. Supporters of Taylor's pairing with Ridge may have been thrilled for her to win for once because Taylor usually ends up second in this love triangle. But in all honesty, a love triangle centered on Ridge and his erratic heart cannot be won. Naturally, Ridge is shoving Brooke aside and supporting Taylor for the time being. You would think that would be advantageous, but the issue is Ridge's word choice. Ridge's frequent references to being committed to Taylor are noteworthy. Ridge simply reiterates that commitment mantra regardless of how many times Brooke, Eric Forrester, or anybody else attempts to nudge him back toward his ex. That's problematic for a few reasons, the first of which is that Ridge has never been able to commit to someone for the long run. There's no reason to believe that Ridge has changed all of a sudden or that this devotion will endure indefinitely. Perhaps the greater problem is that Ridge continues to emphasize his commitment to Taylor over his affection for her. If Ridge was always raving about how much he loved Taylor, we may believe that his heart belonged to her, but he isn't. Ridge behaves more like a man who feels compelled to stick by Taylor's side than a man who is in love. This is partially due to Ridge's desire to avoid disappointing Taylor once more, particularly in light of her broken heart syndrome and everything that she has endured to get here. Additionally, Ridge doesn't want to let Thomas Forrester or Steffi Forrester down off canvas. In addition, despite all the takeover turmoil, Ridge is obstinate and unable to move over Brooke's CEO treachery. It's obvious that Ridge isn't remaining with Taylor because he wants to spend the rest of his life with her. For this reason, Taylor and Ridge's romance is doomed to fail. That is evident from Ridge's actions, which also paved the way for his eventual reconciliation with Brooke. Naturally, the path to Ridge and Brooke's next chapter will be a convoluted one. After so many rejections from Ridge, Brooke is preparing for more heartache in anticipation of Nick Marone's return, so she will fall into his arms. That might arouse Ridge's jealousy and set the stage for him and Brooke to eventually reconcile. We'd assume that by the time the holidays return, Brooke's earlier prediction that she would be reunited with Ridge by Christmas will have come true. If Ridge goes so far as to marry her, Taylor might have a few months of happiness, possibly even as his wife, but ultimately, everything will fail. According to spoilers on The Bold and the Beautiful, Taylor will eventually lose this love triangle once more. Keep checking back for any more heartbreaking information. Fans are demanding that Brooke Logan find a new love after her pitiful pursuit of Ridge. Many fans of The Bold and the Beautiful are pushing writers to give Brooke Logan a new plot and a new love interest rather than clinging to her destiny narrative, calling her persistent pursuit of Ridge pitiful and embarrassing. The most divisive storyline of The Bold and the Beautiful, fans blast Brooke's pitiful pursuit of Ridge. The audience has become tired of Brooke Logan's ceaseless pursuit of Ridge Forrester, calling her actions disgusting and embarrassing, and they are pushing for new plots. Fans are at a breaking point in the decades-long story of Brooke Logan and Ridge Forrester. Viewers are expressing unprecedented outrage on social media as Brooke continues to follow her destiny with Ridge in recent episodes. They have called her actions disgusting and pitiful, and they are demanding that the writers give the character a new path. Get up and go on. Brooke's desperate pursuit is rejected by fans. In the May 5th episode, Brooke was shown begging Ridge about their destiny together once more, a scene that has been repeated innumerable times since 1987. However, during these occasions, viewers are intentionally changing the channel rather than cheering for the couple. The way she paws Ridge is getting to be awful. In a remark with more than 100 upvotes, one viewer said, "You've wasted far too much time on that fart in the wind, Ridge. Wake up and move on with your life. I'm sick of hearing, 'He's my destiny.'" "Girl, you're in your 50s, said another ardent admirer. "In the early 60s? When does your fate begin?" Viewers have expressed bodily discomfort while viewing these conversations, And many have admitted that they mute or skip portions that show Brooke's most recent attempt to win Ridge back. The reaction is more than just mere dissatisfaction. Fans ask for new storylines and new love interest. Viewers are in serious need of fresh narrative approaches after 37 years of the same Brooke, Ridge, and Taylor Hayes love triangle dynamics. According to research, fans find Brooke's pursuit of Ridge to be repetitive and pathetic, which frustrates them. With many recommending new romantic partners, it appears that fans want Brooke to move on. To avoid repeating the same relationship problems, some viewers have even proposed certain celebrities on social media as potential love interests, such as Gregory Harrison, who earlier starred in General Hospital. In a post that received a lot of upvotes, one fan wrote, "A new love for her can't arrive soon enough," expressing the general wish to see Brooke find contentment outside of the Ridge orbit. Is Brooke's character unfairly presented in the writing? Many people fault the show's writing, believing it undercuts a once powerful character, rather than Catherine Kelly Lang's performance. The text is criticized for being out of date and misogynistic based on the evidence. This is so pitiful and inexcusable, even though I adore Brooke in all her messiness. One of the top commenters received dozens of upvotes for saying, "It's pure misogyny." Others noted that Brooke's character development had regressed in a worrying way. Only a few years ago, Ridge had to decide between Taylor and her, and Brooke wasn't going to back down. Another admirer said, "Now she's going above and beyond for a man who doesn't really deserve her." Is it time for mature storylines given the age factor? Another major area of criticism has shifted to the characters' ages. Viewers wonder if these desperate love endeavors make sense for mature characters, given that Brooke is shown in the show's timeline as being significantly older and Catherine Kelly Lang is approaching 64 in real life. Instead of playing the same romantic musical chairs they have for decades, some fans argued that Brooke, Ridge, and Taylor should have stories that are appropriate for their age and experience, emphasizing family, legacy, and personal fulfillment. One spectator said, "These three are giving senior citizens a bad rep," implying that the recurring plot lines don't correspond with the characters' actual stages of life. Brooke's next steps? It is still unclear if authors will pay attention to viewers' requests for new storylines as fan annoyance reaches a breaking point. More than merely a critique of a single plot point, the pushback against Brooke's pursuit of Ridge shows a desire for the program to go past its established patterns from decades before. Will Brooke eventually get over Ridge and become the strong person she once was? Will she meet someone new who genuinely cares about her? Or will the show stick to its tried and true route? Fans are clearly turning away from these situations more and more, which is a strong indication of where one of the most recognizable characters from daytime television is headed. Viewers think it's time for Brooke Logan to build a future independent of Ridge Forrester after almost 40 years. Ridge resists Brooke's pressure to break up with Taylor, for the time being. Ridge Forrester is under pressure by Brooke Logan to leave Taylor Hayes and acknowledge their love for one another during a furious altercation at Forrester Creations. Though he doesn't completely reject his residual feelings for Brooke, Ridge remains steadfast in his devotion to Taylor. Fought for Ridge's affections while clinging to Taylor's loyalty. Another exciting chapter has been added to the timeless triangle that has characterized The Bold and the Beautiful for many years. Brooke Logan's most daring action to date was to recapture Ridge Forrester from Taylor Hayes in a dramatic showdown at Forrester Creations. Although Ridge remained loyal to Taylor, his inability to suppress his affections for Brooke says a lot about the direction this plot is taking. Brooke will not get a no in reply. Fans have been anticipating for this face-off. Determined to force Ridge Forrester to acknowledge what she considers to be the unchangeable truth, that they are meant to be together, Brooke Logan cornered him at the design office. Brooke wasn't hesitant to write off Ridge's connection with Taylor Hayes as a passing fad because she was so stunning. Ridge's feeble complaints regarding his current connection were dismissed by Brooke, who believed that they were intended to be together. And truthfully, she exuded an extraordinary level of confidence. Ridge is what the woman wants, and she has never given up on it. This is the quintessential Brooke Logan. There was enough tension in the room to cut with high-end scissors. Brooke reminded Ridge of their long-standing relationship by placing herself dangerously close to him. She was making a statement, not merely a case. This woman was assured of her fate and wasn't begging for another opportunity. Ridge is betrayed by his conflicted heart. Ridge Forrester, for his part, made an effort to maintain his position. He continually assured Brooke that he was delighted with Taylor Hayes and that he would keep his word to her. He was adamant that he wanted to keep his promise to Taylor since she makes him happy. Here's the thing, though, and this was immediately apparent to longtime viewers, although Ridge's words conveyed one message, his body language and emotional responses conveyed quite another. The internal conflict Ridge is going through was made clear by Torsten K's subtle acting. Ridge couldn't bring himself to deny that he still loves her when Brooke pressed him about it. Rather, he sidestepped, shifting the topic and putting physical distance between them. If a man was really over his ex, wouldn't he just say so? Let's face it. Ridge's incapacity to completely turn down Brooke's advances reveals a great deal about his inner turmoil. Even though he is currently seeing Taylor, it is obvious that he still has affections for his Logan. The complex history that continues to link them. There is more to this confrontation than meets the eye. With several marriages, kids, and enough drama to fill 1,000 episodes, Brooke and Ridge have a long history together that spans decades. Their bond has withstood numerous betrayals, familial resistance, and other lovers. Taylor Hayes has consistently been entangled in this epic tale of love. Even though she is a well-known psychiatrist, she has never been able to completely dissect this triangle. She has often seen Ridge go back to Brooke, only to welcome him back when things unavoidably go wrong. In their connection, the current state is similar to previous cycles in which Ridge tries to establish a solid relationship with Taylor only to be pulled back into Brooke's sphere of influence. Longtime watchers are so accustomed to this pattern that we can practically set our watches by it. Afterward, what happens? Everyone's major concern is how long Ridge would be able to keep his vow. Brooke Logan is tenacious, yet his dedication to Taylor is already beginning to waver. Ridge and Taylor are sticking together for the time being, but it's obvious that doubt has been sown. Will Taylor detect the change in Ridge's emotions as the days stretch into weeks? Will Brooke keep trying to get her man back? This triangle isn't going away anytime soon, that much is certain. It is the foundation of The Bold and the Beautiful, and the drama will go on as long as these three characters live in the same city. Will Ridge finally give in to Brooke's pressure? Yes, according to history, but soap operas love to surprise their viewers. Perhaps, just possibly, Ridge will finally make a sincere commitment to Taylor this time. Carter's irrational request for Ridge's assistance with Hope. Carter Walton is insane for requesting Ridge Forrester's assistance for Hope Logan, according to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Because Steffi Forrester has problems with Brooke, Ridge raised her as his own for years before using derogatory language, including calling her a bitch. Why did Carter assume Ridge would offer assistance? Carter Walton was lied to by Ridge Forrester. When Ridge permitted Steffi to terminate Hope for the future and fire Hope, he had already deceived Carter. Both Ridge and Eric joined Steffi after stabbing Carter in the back. Despite being co-CEO, Ridge reminded Carter that Steffi made the decision, not him or his father. However, by assuming control of the business, Carter betrayed Ridge and Eric Forrester. What's the matter? When Hope didn't do anything to betray Steffi or come on to Finn as she was accused of doing, Ridge mistreated her. Hope just supported her partner, she did not think of taking over this LLC either. Like Steffi did when Finn said Hope had tried to approach him. All of a sudden, Finn is acting as if nothing happened. Hope Logan is not welcome there, according to Ridge Forrester. Hope is not welcome there, as Ridge has stated. Ridge made it clear to Carter and Brooke Logan. Hope has been washed away by Ridge. Ridge clearly doesn't think Steffi has done anything wrong, even if she has had multiple affairs with Hope's husband. Let's be honest, ever since Hope chose to date her father, Ridge has been angry with her. Ridge can offer Carter any justification he wants, but he is unwilling to help Hope since he has been angry with her for years. Ridge also opposes Hope and Carter being together. Maybe Ridge doesn't like that Carter isn't just focused on the Forresters while he's with Hope, he actually considers himself. Is it true that Carter Walter thinks Ridge Forrester would assist him? The fact that Carter is unhappy without Hope around doesn't matter to Ridge. Ridge has regained his company. Hope isn't nagging Carter about how much better he should be doing for himself, and Ridge has his best friend back. Hope has more than demonstrated her belief that Carter is underappreciated at Forrester. Despite Hope being at Carter's side, Ridge doesn't give her any credit for the changes that have occurred at Forrester. Carter was inspired to take the action he did with the LLC by Hope. Is Ridge worried that Hope will make Carter re-examine his treatment at Forrester? Is Ridge still concerned with the independent behavior of the young girl he raised? Since Ridge isn't even trying, Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, might be the only one who can bring Steffi and Hope together. Will Steffi beg Hope to return to Forrester? Will hope for the future be brought back to life? Ridge Forrester stuns everyone by proposing to Taylor Hayes, not from passion alone, but with the bitter motivation of finally, publicly, and permanently closing the chapter on Brooke Logan. What starts as a quiet, seemingly introspective week for Ridge quickly unravels into a tangled web of spite, longing, and strategic heartbreak, as the man caught between two legendary loves makes a decision that is less about love and more about message. After decades of back and forth, deception, betrayal, and rekindled romance with Brooke, Ridge has grown tired of the games, the emotional whiplash, and the feeling that he's always just one scandal away from watching everything fall apart. And when Brooke once again fails to stand by him in a moment he deemed crucial, choosing instead to comfort Deacon or defend Hope or insert herself into drama with the Logan sisters, Ridge finally snaps. But instead of walking away quietly, he chooses to send a clear, unmistakable signal: he's not coming back this time. When Ridge shows up at Taylor's house with flowers, memories, and a ring, she is taken aback. At first, it feels like déjà vu, but there's something different in his eyes this time, something sharper, less romantic, more resolute. He tells her that he's done with Brooke, that he can't keep living in the same cycle, and that it's time to choose peace, stability, family, and her. As the words flow out, Taylor wants to believe that this proposal is about the love they've shared over the years, about the children they've raised, and about the pain they've endured. However, she can't help but wonder if this is a genuine beginning or just Ridge's last desperate attempt to prove a point. Rumors of the proposal spread like wildfire back at Brooke's. Donna is shocked, Katie is wary, but Brooke is devastated, not because Ridge moved on, but because she knew deep down that this engagement was born out of rejection, not love. She told Ridge she needed space, and she told him she had to think about her own happiness. She never thought distance would push him into Taylor's arms so quickly, or so dramatically. What hurts more is that she can't even be angry because she knows she's contributed to this, all the times she defended Deacon, all the times she allowed her fidelity to cloud her future. Ridge had reached his breaking point, and this proposal was his way of saying, "You can't hurt me anymore." Taylor, on the other hand, is caught in a painful limbo. She loves Ridge, always has, but she's not blind. She saw the timing. She saw the coldness beneath the ring. And even though she's happy to hear her name spoken with intention and to see her family come together with hope, she wakes up that night wondering, if this is about Brooke, then where does that leave me? Thomas and Steffi are obviously thrilled because they see this as the long-awaited restoration of the family, the end of the Logan influence, and the emergence of the true Forrester core. However, even Steffi, the eternally hopeful daughter, notices that her mother's smile doesn't quite reach her eyes. Eric, who knows Ridge's heart and has witnessed this pattern too often to be persuaded, is skeptical of Ridge's proposal, which has reverberated throughout Los Angeles. He gently but firmly warns his son, if you're proposing just to hurt Brooke, then you're not doing Taylor, or yourself, any favors. Ridge dismisses him, insisting that this is about clarity and starting a new life, but his voice falters even as he says it, because the truth he won't admit to anyone, not even Taylor, is that he still loves Brooke, he simply doesn't want to love her anymore. Proposing to Taylor isn't about celebrating the future, it's about punishing the past. The tension is high, and Taylor, to her credit, doesn't lash out. Instead, she simply responds, "I asked myself the same thing." The moment is quiet, but it cuts deeper than any screaming match could. These women, bound by years of rivalry, are now united in one painful realization: neither of them may ever get Ridge's whole heart. Brooke, ever resilient, doesn't break down. She analyzes. She reflects. And for the first time in a long time, she questions whether Ridge was ever truly hers, or if he has always been a man divided between comfort and chaos. Taylor stalls as the wedding planning starts, canceling the first venue visit, avoiding Steffi's eager questions, and finally confronting Ridge in the most honest and raw conversation they've had in years, saying, "I don't want to be your reaction, I want to be your choice." Ridge, taken by surprise, insists he loves her, saying he's tired of the drama and just wants peace, but Taylor sees right through him, seeing the way his eyes linger on old family photos with Brooke, the way he tenses when her name is mentioned, and most importantly, the fact that he still hasn't completely let go. In that moment, she makes the heartbreaking decision to return the ring, not because she doesn't love him, but because she finally loves herself enough to stop being someone's second option, someone's symbol of moving on. Steffi is incensed, Thomas is in shock, and Ridge is shaken in a way he hasn't been in years. He thought this move would give him closure, but instead it has left him more adrift than ever. He goes to Brooke, not with an apology but with humility, and he tells her what he did, why he did it, and how it blew up in his face. Brooke listens, hurt but calm, and she doesn't gloat or reprimand. Instead, she says, "You keep proposing to escape something. Maybe it's time you figure out what you actually want, when no one else is around." And Ridge is genuinely alone for the first time in decades. He has no wife, fiancé, or emotional support system. He is just a man in a suit sitting in an empty office, gazing at two rings that once represented everything but now stand for nothing more than a lifetime of uncertainty. The bold and the beautiful spoilers and updates indicate that Catherine Kelly Lang is prepared for the return of Nick Marone, Jack Wagner, and Brooke Logan Lang. She talks about the completely different dynamic between Nick and Brooke. It's been a while since they reunited. Brooke has always been all about Ridge Forrester, but things might change now. Next month, in June, Jack Wagner will reprise his role as Nick Marone. The time for Jack Wagner to play Nick Marone again is rapidly approaching. Lang discussed Wagner's comeback with Kasperzik in an exclusive interview with Bold Live, recalling the good old days. "It seems as though nothing had changed," she said. "It brought back so many memories and was just like the good old days when he was there before. We talked about a lot of old scenes, some of which I had forgotten until we started talking about them," Lang disclosed. The two just got back together in the gym where they both go, where she playfully interacted with him while he was working out. Lang and Wagner's chemistry was still palpable. She sensed the energy between them during their conversation. Lang joked that they were just rekindling that chemistry we had from years ago. Fans of B&B have been watching Brooke chase Ridge, Torsten K., and remind him of his fate for a long time. Things will take a different turn when Nick is introduced into this plot. Additionally, it will offer Ridge something to ponder, which is beneficial because Brooke is constantly thinking about it. Lang made a joke. After then, the conversation shifted to Nick and Brooke's past. Nick emphasized Brooke's adventurous disposition. Lang discussed the various connections that Brooke needed to make. Compared to Brooke and Ridge, they undoubtedly had a different kind of bond. "I kind of missed that dynamic, which was quite different. Reviving that element will be fantastic, in my opinion," Lang said. The totally different dynamic between Nick and Brooke is discussed by Catherine Kelly Lang in Spoilers for the Bold and the Beautiful. In contrast to the chaos and excitement she has been experiencing, she may feel driven to return to a love that offers her safety and tranquility. However, Ridge is unlikely to take this news well. He will not be pleased to see his Logan with someone else, which could place Brooke in a difficult position where she must choose between Ridge and Nick. According to a recent story by Deadline, Brooke might finally come to terms with the fact that her current relationship is irreparable when Jack Wagner returns on June 13 as Nick Marone.